Good morning. I'm Lisa Keith, and I serve as the Public Information Officer for the Michigan Gaming Control Board. Before the meeting begins, I'd like to briefly review some information for audience members who are joining us virtually today. Audio settings. If you are participating via Zoom, you can access audio settings and test them during the meeting. See meeting controls and click the arrow next to mute for your mute and unmute options. Also click audio options to open your audio settings. For closed captioning, go to the navigation panel and click Closed Caption to start viewing. You can click and drag the provided subtitles to move their position in the meeting window. Caption size can be adjusted by clicking the up arrow next to Start Video, Stop Video. Then click Video Settings followed by Accessibility. Move the slide to adjust the caption size. To comment on an agenda item, please enter your name and telephone number in the Q&A box on the Zoom screen when the agenda item is introduced. You will receive a telephone call from area code 248 or 215. This call will connect you to the meeting so you can speak. The chairperson will request comments when it is time to speak. Zoom participants should select Q&A at the bottom of the screen to participate in the public comment period. Type your name and phone number in the compose box and select send. You will receive a call from either a 248 or 215 area code and will be placed in the queue to speak. You may also type a question in the compose box, which will be read aloud. For the meeting agenda, you may access it using a link in the Zoom meeting chat section, or you can visit the About MGCB section of the agency's website, www.michigan.gov/MGCB, and click on the link for board meeting schedule and agendas. Now we'll turn our attention to Board Chairperson Linda Forte, who will open the meeting.
Thank you, Lisa. Good morning. I'm Linda Forte. I'm the chair of the Michigan Gaming Control Board, and all board members are present for today's meeting. We have a quorum to proceed with today's meeting to decide various matters listed in the agenda. There will be an opportunity for public comment later in the agenda after the business portion is completed, and those wishing to make public comment will be allotted up to 2 minutes. Anyone wishing to address the board must fill out a request form, which is available at the reception table outside of the hearing room entrance. The first item that we'll consider is approval of the meeting minutes of the board's regular public meeting held on August 15th, 2023. Board members have been provided with a copy of the prepared minutes of the board's last public meeting held on August 15th, 2023 for review prior to today's meeting. Do members have any questions or any corrections, additions, or deletions to the prepared minutes? Board Member Lambert Bounds, could we please have a motion to adopt the prepared minutes?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion has passed. And we'll move now next directly into the Executive Director's report.
Good morning, board members. The board has received a written version of my report this morning, so I will summarize my report for the record. Staffing, Michigan Gaming Control Board has hired 4 new employees and 3 employees have departed the agency. The Gaming Control Board currently has 174 employees and 27 vacant positions. Ongoing efforts to fill the board's 27 positions will continue until all the positions are filled. The large number of vacancies are due to our new appropriation of 16 positions we received on October 1st, 2023. A roster of the board's current staff, including the state police and attorney general staff assigned to assist the board in carrying out its statutory duties and responsibilities under the Michigan Gaming and Control and Revenue Act as amended, is included in your packet for reference. Budget. As of September 30th, 2023, total MGCB expenditures were $30,424,000. This leaves an unexpended balance of $9,328,000 in appropriated funding for fiscal year 2023. This includes funds for the anticipated reimbursement for the Attorney General and State Police for requested assistance pursuant to the Act. Note, these are not final expenditure amounts for September 2023, as the accounting period and the fiscal year are still open. Operations and revenue. All 3 licensed Detroit casinos continue to operate on 24-hour, 7 days per week basis since the board's last public meeting. As I said, the board already is in possession of my report, so I will skip ahead to occupational licensing. Since the board's August 2023 meeting, the employee licensing section completed required background investigations of 153 pending level 1 and level 2 occupational license applications, 76 level 3 license applications, and 369 license renewal requests. Pursuant to board resolution number 2002-02, I have already approved the 369 renewal requests and the 76 level 3 applications as recommended by the employee licensing section staff. The remaining recommendations regarding the 153 pending level 1 and level 2 occupational license applicants will be considered by the board as part of the business agenda for today's meeting. Disassociated persons list. Currently, we have 4,133 individuals on the disassociated persons list. As of October 1st, 2023, the board has received 1,342 applications seeking removal from the disassociated persons list. Board staff has approved 1,166 requests. 78 applicants have requested placement back on the list. 86 applications have been denied, and the remaining 12 applications are currently under review. There has been no minor citations issued to any of the casinos since our last meeting. Michigan State Police. In the report you have in front of you, there's a section on the activities of the state police, as well as their number of open positions. Since the information includes confidential investigations of persons and crimes at the casinos, I'm not going to address in a public forum, but please review at your convenience. A few notables. I would like to introduce Tina Lagna, our new Deputy Director of Licensing and Investigations. Tina has returned to us. She worked from the board from 1998 to 2006, and she left us to go to UIA, but she has since returned to the organization, and we welcome her back. Tina Lagna, if you'd like to stand. Yep, welcome back. Just to share some meetings that the board has been involved in. September 14th, the board hosted the legislative meet and greet, where we take time to meet with the state representatives and senators and their staff. The meeting was well attended. Staff just returned from the Global Gaming Expo in Las Vegas, G2E. We've also, back in September, we attended the Congressional Black Caucus Conference. And also would like to announce that our responsible gaming section, Don't Regret the Bet campaign, has received its 3rd Platinum Award, the Markham, for the Don't Regret the Bet campaign. So congratulations to the unit for that accomplishment. In closing, I would like to remind everyone that gambling in any form is for entertainment purposes only. If you or a loved one have a gambling problem, please call the state's 24-hour hotline, toll-free hotline at 1-800-270-7117 for assistance with treatment only. You also may visit our website at www.michigan.gov/MGCB for information on self-exclusion programs, including the disassociated persons list and the internet gaming and sports betting responsibility gaming including the disassociated persons list and the internet gaming and sports betting responsible gaming database, or call the MGCB's responsible gaming section at 1-888-223-3044. Thank you, Madam Chair. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Director Williams, for your report. We'll now move into the business. And the first item of business is to consider the Executive Director's and Casino Operations Division's recommendation regarding Level 1 and Level 2 occupational license applications. The board's employee licensing staff has completed the background investigations of 153 Level 1 and Level 2 occupational license applicants since the board's last regular public meeting. All board members have been provided a copy of Exhibit 1, which summarizes the staff's recommendations to grant applications for the reasons specified in the related background investigation reports. Are there any questions? Board Member Thrower Davis, may we please have a motion to approve the occupational license applications as listed and recommended in Exhibit 1?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion has passed and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's reports and Licensing and Investigations Division's recommendations regarding the pending supplier license request of Seven Stone Management, LLC, Adventura, Inc., Gaming Associates Europe, Ltd., Media Troopers, Inc., and Spectate Limited. Each board member has been provided with copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting, and each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its supplier license request at today's meeting. Board staff is present to answer any questions that board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Palms, may we please have a motion to approve the supplier license applications as recommended?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there support for the motion?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion has passed and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's reports and Licensing and Investigations Division's recommendations regarding the pending supplier license renewal request and new key persons of Acres Manufacturing Company, AGS LLC, Ainsworth Game Technology Limited, Betfair Interactive US LLC, DBA FanDuel Sportsbook with new key persons Carolyn Mary Lennon, John Anthony Bryant, and Padraig Anthony O'Riordan. Colasanti Construction Services, Inc., D. Kramer, Inc., Del Bene Produce, Inc., Diversified Construction Specialist, Inc., Guideline Mechanical, Inc., with new key person Joseph Dominic Carreri, Jasmine Construction, Inc., Mask Publishing, Inc., Mastercraft Carpet Service, Inc., DBA Mastercraft Floors, Premier Services Group, LLC, Socios Holdings, Inc., DBA Quality Meats and Culinary Specialties, Sport Raider Solutions, LLC, DBA Sport Raider, Sports Information Services Limited, DBA Combi, with new key persons Veralda, FLAG, Parivisi Trust, and ULF, Matthias Lindahl. Surveillance Systems Integration, Inc., DBA Surveillance Systems Incorporated, and Thomas Galloway Corporation, DBA Technologent. Each board member has been provided with copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting, and each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its supplier license renewal request at today's meeting. Board staff is present to answer questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Lambert Bounds, may we please have a motion to approve the supplier license renewals and new key persons as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion has passed, and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's report and Licensing and Investigations Division's recommendations regarding the pending request for approval of new key persons of supplier licensee, Alchemy Bet Limited with new key person Jeffrey Robert Green, Betfair Interactive US LLC, DBA FanDuel Sportsbook with new key persons Carolyn Mary Lennon, John Anthony Bryant, and Padraig Anthony O'Riordan, Digital Gaming Corporation, USA DBA DGC with new key persons SGHC Limited, Supergroup, SGHC Limited, Ridgeway Associates Limited, Aliyah Holdings Limited, Knutson Limited, Waddle Limited, Chivers Limited, Waddle Limited as trustee of the Chivers Trust, Aliyah Trust, Neil Menash, Alinda Van Wyck, Richard Sammy Hassan, Eric Peter Grubman, John Michael Collins, Sion David Roberts, Nicholas Joy Barcroft Kelly, Moira Thomas McCary, Martin Derrick Hall, Leanna Rosamond Dobson, David Anthony Karen, Basil Dean Belich, Ann Elizabeth Cooper Woods, Alexander Fleming McNee, John Lepoidevin, Robert James Dutnell, Natara Holloway Branch, and Jonathan Robert Jossel. Every Interactive LLC with new key person Deborah Lee Nutton. Every Payments, Inc. with new key person Deborah Lee Nutton. Green Tube USA LLC with new key persons Benjamin Roz Sutherland and Zachary Todd Present. SimpleBet, Inc. with new key persons Mark Elliott Nierenberg, Juan Raymond Hernandez Duarte, and Matthew John Primer. Sports Information Services Limited DBA Canby with new key persons Verelda FLAG, Harry Veazey Trust, and ULF Matthias Lindahl. WSI US LLC DBA WinBet with new key persons Fertitta Entertainment Inc., Hospitality Headquarters Inc., Tillman Joseph Fertitta, Stephen Lee Scheinthal, and Richard Holden Lehm. Each board member was provided with copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting, and each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its request at today's meeting, and board staff is present to answer any questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Thor Davis, may we please have a motion to approve the applications for new key persons as recommended?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there support for the motion?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion has passed, and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's report and Licensing and Investigation Division's recommendations regarding the pending request for approval of new key persons of Internet Gaming Operator and Sports Betting Operator licensee, MGM Grand Detroit LLC, DBA MGM Grand Detroit Casino, with new key persons Mark McDonald Strawn and Benjamin Saul Winston. Each board member has been provided with copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting, and each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its supplier license renewal request at today's meeting. Board staff is present to answer any questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Palms, may we please have a motion to approve the application for new key persons as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is passed, and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's report and Licensing Investigations Division's recommendation regarding the pending request for exemption of institutional investors of supplier licensee 888 Atlantic Limited with new institutional investor Parvis Asset Management Europe Limited, Aristocrat Technologies with new institutional investor BlackRock Inc., Betfair Interactive US LLC, DBA FanDuel Sportsbook with new institutional investor BlackRock Inc., VHL Michigan LLC with new institutional investor Parvis Asset Management Europe Limited. And each board member has been provided with copies of the report for review prior to today's meeting. Each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its request at today's meeting. Board staff is present to answer any questions that board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Lambert Bounds, may we please have a motion to approve the exemption of the institutional investors as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion has passed, and an order will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's report and Licensing and Investigations Division's recommendation regarding the pending request for exemption of institutional investors of casino, internet gaming operator, and sports betting operator licensee, Greektown Casino LLC, DBA Hollywood Casino at Greektown with new institutional investor HG Vora Capital Management LLC, MGM Grand Detroit LLC, DBA MGM Grand Detroit Casino with new institutional investor T. Rowe Price Associates, Inc. Each board member has been provided with copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting, and each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its request at today's meeting. Board staff is present to answer any questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Thor Davis, may we please have a motion to approve the exemption of the institutional investors as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion has passed, and an order will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's report and Licensing and Investigations Division's recommendation regarding the transfer of interest for Digital Gaming Corporation USA, Guideline Mechanical, Inc., Sports Information Services Limited, DBA Canby, Anders Strom to Veralda FL AG, Sports Information Services Limited, DBA Canby, Veralda FL AG, to Heravizi Trust, WSI US LLC, DBA WinBet. Each board member has been provided with copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting, and each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its request at today's meeting. Board staff is present to answer any questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Palms, may we please have a motion to approve the transfer of interest as recommended?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion has passed, and an order will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the acknowledgement of violation of supplier licensee BetMGM LLC DBA Roar Digital. Each board member has been provided with a copy of the report and acknowledgement of violation for review prior to today's meeting, and the licensee was given notice that the board would consider the acknowledgement of violation at today's meeting. Are there any questions? Board Member Lambert Bounds, may we please have a motion to accept the acknowledgement of violation?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion has passed, and an order will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the proposal for decision of occupational licensee Evail Thomas Teague. Each board member has been provided with a copy of the agency record for review prior to today's meeting, and the licensee was given notice that the board would consider the agency record regarding the proposal for decision at today's meeting. Assistant Attorney General Kelly McGuire will briefly summarize the facts involved.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
This matter involved a summary suspension of the licensee's Level 2 occupational license. The license was summarily suspended on August 8th for failure to cooperate with board staff during the license renewal investigation, making a false statement on the renewal application, and for failing to maintain suitability for continued licensure. A hearing was commenced on August 17th. The licensee did not appear. The administrative law judge issued a proposal for decision on August 30th, recommending that the summary suspension be continued, that the licensee's Level 2 license be revoked, and that the renewal application be denied. So today we are requesting that you enter a final order that accepts and adopts the proposal for decision.
Is Mr. Thomas Teague or his representative present or on the call and wishing to address the board? If so, please come forward and identify yourself for the record. I'd like to note for the record that neither the licensee or a representative is present. Are there any questions? Board Member Thor Davis, may we please have a motion to accept the proposal for decision?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is passed, and an order will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's and Casino Operations Division's recommendation regarding Level 2 occupational license application of Jalen Applewhite. And each board member has been provided with a copy of the board's employee licensing staff's investigative report recommending the denial of this application for a Level 2 occupational license. This was available for review prior to today's meeting. And the applicant was given notice that the board would consider the investigative report regarding the application for a Level 2 occupational license at today's meeting. Assistant Attorney General Kelly McGuire will briefly summarize the facts involved.
Thank you. This is an application for a Level 2 occupational license that is before the board this morning pursuant to Administrative Rule 432.1338, subsection 1. A licensing investigation was conducted here to determine the applicant's eligibility for a license. And the investigation discovered that while working on a temporary license that was issued to the applicant was terminated from his employment at Hollywood Casino at Greektown after he was observed violating procedures on a live table game and for jeopardizing the integrity and equitability of a table game. The background investigation was completed, and the executive director reported the findings to the board. In accordance with Administrative Rule 432.1338, subsection 1, this application is now before the board for consideration and action. MCL 432.208 subsection 6I allows the board to deny an occupational license to a person if the board concludes that the applicant lacks the requisite suitability as to integrity, moral character, and reputation, personal probity, financial ability and experience, or responsibility. Based on the findings from the licensing investigation, board staff and the executive director have recommended that this application be denied. As such, we are asking today that the board enter an order denying the application for a level 2 occupational license. And just to note, as I previously mentioned, a temporary license was issued and this applicant was working on that license. This denial would cause that temporary license to expire, and the applicant would be prohibited from performing any duties that would require a level 2 license.
Thank you. Is Mr. Applewhite or his representative present or on the call and wishing to address the board? If so, please step forward and identify yourself for the record. I'd like to have the record noted that neither the applicant or a representative is present. Are there any questions? Board Member Palms, may we please have a motion to deny the application for a level 2 occupational license?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion has passed and an order will be issued accordingly. Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask if there any other business to come before the board. Okay, we'll move into public comment. We're now at the point in the board's meeting where members of the public may come forward and offer comments regarding the business of the board. I'd like to ask Derek Mathis if we've had any requests.
Yes, we have 6 requests, all from the Detroit Casino Council, the first being Mr. Hatchie.
Okay, just a reminder that you have up to 2 minutes for comments. Thank you. Mr. Hatchie.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Michael Hashi, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Detroit Casino Council. We're a coalition of 5 labor unions, and we have announced a strike deadline for noon today of our 3,700 members who work at all 3 of Detroit's casinos. Our members include dealers, slot attendants, slot technicians, cocktail servers, engineers, valets, food and beverage staff, hotel staff, cleaning staff, and more throughout the properties. We do not take this decision lightly. We have sacrificed to help the industry recover from COVID. We have suffered under high inflation and the rising cost of living. Now, we must stand up for the raises we deserve and to defend our health insurance and our job security. Michigan has strong gaming regulations that, of course, require occupational licenses for many jobs within the casinos. Many of our experienced and skilled members who serve the casinos in job classifications that require occupational license 2 and occupational license 3 plan to walk off the job and strike and picket today at noon if no agreement has been reached. Our members are long-term workers in the industry. Many are long-term residents in Detroit. Some are day one workers who opened these casinos, who are now standing up to ensure that the industry provides good jobs in our state. Any attempt to replace the skilled and dedicated and licensed members of our unions during a strike would be irresponsible and damaging to the industry and our state. We call on the board to carefully uphold and enforce all laws and regulations during a strike, including the occupational licensing requirements, and to not change any policies or procedures or regulations in response to the strike to try to replace workers by allowing temporary or expedited licenses. The board should exercise all appropriate inspection and enforcement powers up to and including its power to suspend licenses if violations occur, as per the regulations that state the board may suspend a license issued to a casino licensee without notice if the action is necessary for the immediate preservation of the integrity of casino gaming, public peace, health, safety, morals, good order, or general welfare. Governor Whitmer, when she signed the Restoring Workers Rights Bill package, stated that those laws would keep government from getting in the way of negotiations between businesses and workers. We're asking
We
the
have a
board.
warning for, if you want to wrap it up, you can wrap it up.
Sure. We're asking the board to remain neutral and please uphold its mission to ensure the integrity of Michigan's gaming industry. And I'd like for you to please hear a few words from the leaders of our unions about why they have chosen to potentially walk out on strike today.
Thank you for your comment.
Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Millage McCaster. I've been employed with Greektown for 14 years. The reason why a lot of us is striking is more than just wages. It's the working conditions. I mean, you have team members where they come in and sometimes it's just one employee to clean the whole floor. That's the bathrooms, every bathrooms, the games. The working conditions are unbearable. We made it through the pandemic, and we just asking for them to step up and help us as far as the working conditions. Wages are important, but it's more than just wages. We have team members that can't take vacation. They block it out, or it's just one person that's able to take vacation. So we are asking y'all to stand with us and help us have the companies come to the table and at least give us a fair contract. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mathis, next person.
Yes. So the next person I have is,
Yes, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, we're just going to make sure that Derek
Yes.
calls each by the form so the stenographer can get their names.
Yes,
for the
thank
board.
you. Thank you.
so the next person I have is Ms. McCray. McCree.
I pass.
Okay. Patrick Nichols.
Hello, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm a dealer at the MGM Grand Casino. I've been there 16 years. The contract is very important to me. This will probably be my last contract because of my age. But I wanted to establish the fact that the insurance is very important to me. On September 2nd, I suffered a heart attack. I went back to work by the 9th, September 9th, and the insurance paid the $90,000 bill that I had. I want to continue that. I want a fair wage, and those are the two main points that I have. Also, at this time, I thank you for hearing me. I am one of your dealer twos. My badge is due to renew in 4 days. I also like at this time, because this is my first and only time probably ever being up here, is I want to compliment the gaming people at the MGM. They're personal, they're professional, and helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Mr.
And-
Mathis.
Yes, and next we have Terry Smith.
Good morning. I'm a dealer at Greektown Casino. I've been there for 18 years. And I just want to say we're fighting to maintain our health insurance. We went through COVID. Well, a lot of us lost a lot of employees, team members through COVID. And we fought through that, and we just want to fight through this contract and get a fair wage. Also, thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Next, Mr. Mathis.
Yes, I believe it's Ms. Taylor.
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning. My name is Taiwanese Taylor. I am a Day One associate at Motor City Casino. At the casino, I'm a slot attendant. I take my job very seriously. During my time there, we have a lot of challenges we have faced as far as wages, as far as health care, but we always seem to prevail when it's contract time. And we just want to continue to do that, not just for the associates that are currently working now, but for the future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Mathis.
That is all the requests we have.
Okay. Thank you all for your public comment. Okay, the board's next scheduled public meeting will be Tuesday, November 14th, 2023, at 9:30 a.m. Next, we're going to consider a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Section 8H of the Open Meetings Act to receive notification of persons placed on the disassociated persons list since the board's last closed session. Since the board's August 15, 2023 public meeting, several applications have been received from individuals requesting to be placed on the board's disassociated persons list as part of their treatment for compulsive gambling problems under Section 25 of the Michigan Gaming Control and Revenue Act. The Act and Board Resolution number 2001-06 required that the board be provided with confidential notification of the names of all individuals placed on the disassociated persons list since the board's last closed session. Board Member Lambert Bounds, may we please have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we do need a roll call vote. Mr. Mathis?
Yes, on the motion to go into closed session following this portion of today's public meeting, all those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds,
Aye.
and Board Member Thora Davis.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion has passed, and we will now proceed to closed session. Okay, we'd like to resume the open meeting, and the next item of business is a motion to approve the minutes of the board's August 15, 2023 closed session. Board members have been provided with a copy of the prepared minutes of the board's last closed session, which was held August 15, 2023, for review prior to today's meeting. Do board members have any corrections, additions, or deletions to the prepared minutes? Board Member Thora Davis, may we have a motion to adopt the prepared minutes?
So moved.
Is there
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion has passed. At this point, we'll entertain a motion and a vote to adjourn the meeting. Board Member Palms, may we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion has passed. We are adjourned.